Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Hold on, I'm having an issue. Y'all, tell me if the screen is like flickering because it is for me, but hopefully it's not for you. It's like we're doing it every couple of seconds. But hi, how's it going? We're starting out with Scuff today. Let's go. I hope you guys are having a good Monday and had a good weekend. It's weird being here. I'm still getting used to it, but I think I'm liking these Monday streams, you know? It really just brightens up the Mondays. Brightens up the beginning of the week, if you will. You know, you feel me? Hi Ace, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. How are you guys doing? How did your week start out? Mine is pretty good. Not a bad day. I did have one accomplishment today, which was, so you know, as one does, I was playing some Epic 7. So I started doing this thing, y'all. I started doing this thing because I found out Epic 7 has this thing where you can like auto, like run. Like you can set a number of times for it to auto run like a certain level or whatever, you know? So I do that to farm. So whenever I'm at work, sometimes I'll just open it up real quick and like set it to auto like 15 rounds or something, because it's the max you can do. So I did that while I was at work. So I got all the things I needed to like get a special version of a character, and I'm very happy because it's one I've wanted for a really long time. So that happened today, so feeling pretty good. Got a new and improved waifu. Don't tell wifey. But yeah, that's the most significant thing that has happened today. But it was pretty pog, not gonna lie. Zay going well, making some You making that plain pizza again? Beezel? Is it bussin' beezel? You've been eating pizza a lot. Dang, I'm kind of jealous. Maybe I should get some pizza. But I'm in a very like, you ever get in like a really specific pizza mood, right? Like you're like, I don't want it from just anywhere. I want a specific place's pizza. That's what I'm like right now. Like, I don't want no Papa John's. No. You know? Maybe Domino's. Maybe. And see, I'm not always like up for Domino's, but I do love Domino's for like the overall meal. I mean, their pizza's good. But like, you gotta get the pasta, you gotta get the bread, maybe like a dip or something. Obviously gotta get the lava cakes. I mean, it's like an experience. It's a feast, you feel me? And I would probably eat that, but anyway. Alas, I already had dinner. Pepperoni pizza. Oh, let's go. You're mixing it up. Love to see it. Pepperoni do be good though. Do be good though. I hope you enjoy your pizza. I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's jump in. Good God, I need help. Okay, I believe it's this one. Domino's arguably has better chicken than some chicken places. Really? Now I gotta say, I have not had the chicken. So I guess I'm gonna have to change that. That is compelling. That is compelling. Is it better than, say, like a Wingstop? A Wingstop per se? KFC? Though I have really complicated feelings about KFC. Okay? Because like they're good, but only sometimes. They're not consistent, I feel. They're not very consistent. But when they're good, they're good. You don't have a Wingstop? Oh, rip. Oh, Wingstop is so good. Wingstop is so good. Okay, how about Chick-fil-A? Better than KFC? I believe it. I believe it. Like I said, KFC is good when it's good, but it's inconsistent. You know? What about Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A is always good. It's the hatred that really just makes it so good. It's the intolerance. You feel me? But I'm gonna have to try them then. I'm gonna have to try their chicken. Definitely better than pickled chicken, for real. For real. Now that's significant. That to me at least is significant. All right, well, the next time I get Domino's, I'm going to order the chicken and give it a try. Do they have like chicken with like the sauces? Or is it just like little chicken, like little like a popcorn chicken vibe? I thought they had sauces maybe as well. I mean, maybe they have plain ones too. But for some reason, my brain is telling me they engaged in some saucy chicken. But now where do I go from here? Oh yeah, here, okay. The summer has ended. Oh. They do have their chicken sauced. Oh, let's go. Okay, then in that case, what is your recommendation? All right, I gotta know. I gotta know which one to go with. I'm an indecisive bitch, if you will. You know? I mean, I don't know what all their options are. I assume they've probably got a buffalo. Maybe a barbecue, a honey barbecue, if you will. I feel like those are what places usually have if like chicken wings are not their sole or like primary thing. But do let me know. Do let me know. I will give it a try and give my verdict next time. Okay. Let's go. It's time to move to the next step. We're growing up. We're kiss falling in love. Let's go. Okay, I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your moms, Lizzie and Cove, as the five of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. Honey barbecue is sweet. Oh, with the bacon. Ooh. Okay, I see you, Domino's. I see you. You know what's really good at Domino's? So I personally, I'm not a big fan of marinara, okay? It's fine, I don't hate it, but it's not my fave. But I love putting some Alfredo on my pizza as the sauce. Or in Domino's case, they have some kind of like, I can't remember, it's like garlic parmesan like sauce or something like that. Darth, hello. Thank you for the hydrates. But they got some kind of cheese sauce, and oh my god, it's so good. Goodness. All right, come on, like give it a solid 5. You know, don't leave me hanging at 4. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? 4? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate you. That just feels better, you know? It just feels better. Okay, let me take my sippies. I do insist. How are you doing today, Darth? I hope you're having a good day. How's your day? With the 3 Z's. 2. 3. 4. 5. All right. Beautiful, lovely, gorgeous. You know, y'all, I realized today whenever I was setting up for my stream that I forgot that last time Tits wasn't working. And I was like, oh no, I think I need to update it. Well, I opened it today and suddenly it decided to work. So I was like, turn up. So we're all good. Y'all can throw water bottles and hearts and bing bongs at me to your heart's content. It has decided to work again. Love that for us. I really do. Okay. Ow, God. Mark those off. Okay. All right. I put my new bed frame together last night, and I think I actually finally got a solid sleep for once in a while. That's awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Does it have like the like lumbar support or something? Is it got like the underneath thing? But that's great. I'm glad to hear that. How's your daughter? If I remember correctly, you said that she was sick last week. I hope she's feeling better. I hope all is well there. I really do. People be getting sick left and right now. My bestie, I spent the weekend with my bestie. Like, we do our little online weekends, you know, we're like long distance friends. And we had a great weekend. It was grand. And then today, I was at work, she texts me and she's like, I woke up with a fever and like a sore throat and chills and body aches and all this stuff. And I was like, no. And she was like, well, I'm glad it didn't cut into our weekend. And I was like, yeah, me too. But like, I'm sad you're sick. That sucks. I'm glad to hear she's much better. That's good. That's good. I mean, seriously, like, nasty stuff is going around. It's like, you know, I would say taking its last chance, but not really, because it's still, like, should still have, like, a decent amount of winter left, but, like, at the same time here, it's, like, warming up again. I'm sure it'll get cold again. I mean, it do be like that here. But this morning, I got gas. So, you know, I was just standing outside, get my gas, chilling. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh, it feels so nice outside, you know? And then I realized I could see my breath. And I was like, what? Like, it is so wild to me that, like, whenever winter starts, right? And it gets to, like, 50 degrees or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, it's so cold. Like, ooh. But then after winter's been going for a while, you get a 50-degree day and you're like, oh my God, the weather's so nice. It feels so good out. It's so warm. You know, that was me this morning. And then I was like, oh, I guess it's not as warm as I thought since I can see my breath, but it feels warm. And then it warmed up more during the day. It was actually really nice whenever I left work. It was really nice. I would have taken a walk, but I didn't have time before stream. Unfortunate. Maybe tomorrow. Oh wait, I have stream tomorrow. Never mind. Well, maybe I can make time. But anyway. I think we're not gonna get any snow this year. Really? Well, you know what? I don't know if I should say that's lucky or not. Because, like, some people really like the snow. I like the snow, I just don't like having to go out in it. Specifically drive in it. Because people drive like maniacs. Personally, I'm not that scared of driving in snow because I just drive like a slow ass motherfucker. I drive slow as hell. Okay? Okay? I'm not taking that risk, you know? I mean, like, you know, I drive as fast as I feel safe doing, given the circumstances of the road. You know, it differs, of course. But like, yeah, I'm pretty like comfortable driving in snow. However, other people, I do not trust. These people be driving like maniacs. And so I prefer to just not be out in it. You feel me? I'd like just a little bit. That's fair. That's fair. It's nice. It is nice to have like a little bit of snow. The presence of snow here isolates brain cells of people. Oh my God, that doesn't sound good. I like snow as a concept, right? You know, but it just, sometimes it's kind of a pain. It's pretty until it gets all dirty and you have to go out in it and stuff. It's nice then. I eventually want to move to the desert and never have to deal with that again. That's fair. I think, like, so I've always been the type of person I've like wanted to live in a place that has like, not necessarily snow, but just like very distinct seasons, like all 4 seasons, right? Because that's what I'm used to. I like that. the older I get and the more the more mentally unstable. Oh God. No, we're fine. But like, you know, it just makes me realize how bad my seasonal depression can get, and how, like, I know it wouldn't go away completely, but how much of a help it would be to live in a place that stays like sunny, you know? So I think I would like to I think I would like to do that too. Give me sunshine and hot weather 365. That is absolutely fair. I mean, like, yeah, I just don't want it to be like super hot all the time, but I feel like that's kind of the give and take. You have to, you know, to not have the yucky winter season. But the more I like think about it, the more I don't feel as opposed to like living in a hotter climate. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I think it would be very good for my mental health though. I think it would help a lot. Because I do be struggling in the winter. It's just hard. And it's crazy how much like that can affect you, you know? It definitely do be affecting me. But anyway. Yeah, I totally feel you though. I think that would be good. And I think it would just be nice too. Like for your everyday life, you know? It's just nice to always have like, or not always, but mostly have sun and it be like warm and nice. I was in Phoenix last summer and it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit daily, but it was a dry heat. So it was like, oh yeah. See, I think I would definitely want to live in a place with dry heat because humidity sucks. It just makes you feel so disgusting. It feels so gross. Because whenever I lived in Japan, the summers were awful. I had never felt humidity like the humidity in Japan. I mean, it is just awful. God awful. I can't tell you how many times I almost passed out on the train because it felt like not very well ventilated and it's just hot and we're like sardines in there and it's just like humid and it's gross and it's terrible. It sucked. It sucked. And not all places had air conditioning either. It was awful. So yeah, I definitely could not move to a place that was like, that's like really humid. I could not do it. I really can't. But anyway, yeah, dry heat's not bad. Like it's hot, but it doesn't make you feel like awful and gross. Anyway, all right. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we're so dull. Let's get out more. He didn't do real magic, Mom. How did you figure that one out?
Duh.
'Cause I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie, let's see. Let's see what real magic looks like, babe. Oh, Lizzie dear, there's all kind of magic in the world. Lizzie gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan.
Ugh.
Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. True. Let's see. Please, can we just play a little longer? Please. Mom looked down at you with a sigh, and you clasped your hands together to give your plea some extra appeal. We'll help with dinner tomorrow. You immediately nodded in agreement with the very clever offer, shifting closer to Lizzie since your parents can't possibly resist the power of you two combined.
Please.
Soon we'll have homework and okay, reading's fun, Lizzie. First of all, I don't know why you okay. That's homework. Blech. Reading? Awesome. Amazing. Lovely. We love it. Okay? You shut up. We can't do work now, too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot into the ground. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. Well,
No.
oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
All right. But as soon as dinner's ready, you lot are coming inside. Understood? Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. You grinned at Cove and nudged his arm with your elbow. Cove gave a non-committal shrug to your mommy, which you took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get the seashell bracelet at Tines and Trinkets. Ooh, or maybe the playground. Or the fireflies would probably be coming out, right? Let's see. I silently made my own plans. Lizzie had her own ideas of what she'd wanted to do. But what were you going to do? You glanced over to Cove, considering. A strong gust of wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself. Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mothers had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long, she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cove was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. Oh, I follow Cove. Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. He made a little gesture that you interpreted as follow me, and then started heading to the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something you quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. You were impressed over how far he got it to go. Good toss, wasn't a long throw, rock kind of sunk. We were impressed. Couldn't be me. Well, I thought I clicked the other. I'll look for my own rock, I guess. Deciding to join Cove, you searched nearby for any rocks or shells that you could throw too. You found a shell that would suit your purposes, a smile growing as you tossed it as hard as you could. It landed with a wet-sounding thunk a few feet away and slipped down into the water. When you looked over at Cove, he didn't seem to notice that his throw had been more impressive. Cove was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. Oh. I'm curious, but I don't want to make him upset. But I'm curious. Oh no, not jet skiing. My eyes widen. OT? You can imagine how bad it must have hurt, or how scared he would have been. He then continued to explain. I crashed. He gestured to his arm as if to say, and this was the result. It's hard to believe you're allowed to jet ski.
Wow.
Oh, he said, I'm a rebel. Oh. Cove let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool, you're gonna like it. Everyone's super nice. You'd only ever been to the one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Cove shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realized that his eyes were wet.
I want to go home.
Oh, Cove! You poor baby. You'd never had to move before, but you thought you could understand. If you had to go to a new school all of a sudden, with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. Cove gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right, Cove wanted to go back to his old home. The one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. Ugh. This can be your home. It's a really nice home if you give it a chance. Cove didn't respond to that. He just tightened his arm around his knees, resting his chin on them. You're not gonna leave, right? You'll still be around? The question was a little surprising. Of course! Your parents would have mentioned if you were going to move or something, right? After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You were fine with him changing the subject again. Yeah, that'd be fun. Cove smiled, then looked back to the waves. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'd feel better then. It used to make me angry. Didn't want to get used to everything. He spared a glance over at Cove and saw the anger had slipped off his face in favor of something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all. As long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. You could remember a long time ago when you'd first started going to school. You had absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for most of the day, to listen to strangers tell you what to do and sit with kids you'd never met before. Things changing is hard. Wait, what'd he say last? I can't see it. They're all good options, to be honest. I like them all. I'll make sure you do. I do want to hold his hand, but we have all the time in the world to hold hands. Cove laughed just a little, but you grinned, proud that you were able to drag one out of him when he was obviously feeling down. Even still, a second later, his eyes got a little misty once more. You got the feeling that they were different tears than the ones from before, though. Thank you for lurking, Ace! I hope next summer I'll surf and go exploring and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You will. It will. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sound of the waves. You hoped that Cove would be able to accept this place as his new home. You'd definitely try to help in what ways you could. There were so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't even seen yet. Lost in thought, you started a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound. The sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off yourself. My mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expression screaming reluctance. Yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Minty, thanks. It was nice where you were right then. But the two of you couldn't stay there in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Ah, so cute. Ooh, 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 we're gonna grow up. In between. Let's see it. Oh yeah, I can like change things. Well, I think all this is fine. I guess I could change my hair. Why not, you know? Oh, the cute, the short hair is cute. We'll go with a short hair look for the next summer. All right, let's see. Do we do crush? Ooh. Yeah, we do. Oh, we do. Oh, look at the little plushie. It's so cute. But I think relaxed still. We're relaxed. Oh, wait. Let me save. So that I can go back and change my mind if I want. And I'm going to keep overwriting those because I don't need them. Okay. Yes. Let's go. Oh, I can customize Cove? Look at him! Is that for when he hurt his arm? What the fuck? Did his fucking bone come out or what? Jesus Christ! He's got different hair? Oh, they're both good. They're both good hairs. They're both good. And the glasses are cute too. Oh God. The lizards. Lizards. Like his little bracelet. Very nice. Yeah. Ooh. Got lots of options with the shorts. I think we'll do those. Ooh. Actually, we might do that then because, or actually no, the pink still matches the shorts, so it's all good. Okay. Oh, but which hair? This hair covers up his wiggly eyebrows, but overall I like it better. But I love his wiggly eyebrows. I'll still do it. Okay. Maybe we'll still get to see him. PJs? When am I gonna be seeing him in his PJs? Oh, here we go. We can do that one. Oh my God. That's the one. And jacket. Ooh, which one? Oh, I don't think... Oh man, I gotta be consistent with the hair. Dang it. Okay. I feel like the pink looks better with the shorts. So we'll do that. Okay. All right. August ended, September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunset Bird for a while. At school, he was all right, but kept his distance from the other kids. From what you saw, anyway. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. Sometimes it was like things were exactly the same as when you had first met. But other times, as you got older, you couldn't ignore how the feelings had changed in meaningful ways. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. At first, you worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Oh. Then you found out it meant Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks out of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons, you thought. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to spend time with Cove. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed. But you hoped that you could help him feel better still, since even without the tears, he looked sad. Maybe one day he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. that officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes too. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride when someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of how well he did in gym and other athletic situations. Over the years, he began opening up more too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. Why? Oh, they moved. He and his mom moved back south because of her work, just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. It had been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. Well, damn. You learned some heartbreaking things became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remember calling her Mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname, too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth, so you did. Your mom soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more and more with girls from school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the area now and then. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work, if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed, in small and big ways. You had too. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over and summer vacation had come again. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside and away from the harsh rays.
Oh my god.
Hello?
Is it humanoid Scyther? Lynn Holigasm.
Maux, hello! Thank you so much for 6 months! Thank you! It do be your favorite. Thank you so much for 6 months. Thank you! How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're doing good. Alright, to be more specific, you were snuggled up in bed celebrating your time off by sleeping in. Oh yeah, sleeping in. That's me. It was hot, but you still had the blanket up over your head to block out the sun. Well, close your blinds, ding dong. You didn't want it intruding on your lazy morning. Unfortunately, you hadn't prepared for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak open. Oh, look at Lizzie. She's all grown up. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. I pretend to still be asleep. You stayed wrapped up in your blankets, not moving an inch with your eyes closed peacefully. By the impatient tapping of her foot, you could tell she hadn't left. Come on, I know you heard me. Get up now. I will come over there. So much for a lazy morning. Your special boy is at the door, like he always is now. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him, say thanks or whatever. He did not like the way she called him your special boy, but you knew by now that saying so wouldn't stop her.
Come on.
So come down already. Okay, fine. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your arms up high and yawning. Time to get ready. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in the far corner of your room. Your reflection hardly even fit the frame. You're very tall. Oh, God. Oh, it scared me. Hi, Bad. How are you doing? And thank you for the dress up. I know exactly what you want, and I shall give it to you. Hold on. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're doing good. Happy Monday. Happy Crab Raven Monday. All right, there we go. All right. Beautiful. Okay, well, I'm very tall, so yeah. Yes. You could relate to Cove and how it felt being unusually big. He was one of the rare fellow 13-year-olds whose height was a match for your own. You liked your height, you weren't sure about how to feel about it, you were kind of self-conscious over it. Oh. If I'm being honest and thinking of myself when I was 13, I was self-conscious about it. You couldn't help but feel awkward with the body you had. Then you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's word piqued your curiosity. God. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spotted your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. Let's see him. Let's see my special boy. God, that's awful. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was perusing through. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Oh, look at ya. Good morning, Minty. Thank you for coming down. Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as she said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh.
Look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so you were still little in her eyes despite being big for your own age. I let her do it. You stood by patiently and indulged your ma's wishes. She gave you 2 small taps on the crown of your head. You're the last one down today, you know that? Sorry about the wait. Oh, there's no need for that. What matters is that you're here now. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. Oh, look at him, he's blushing. Hello? Sir? He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face. His features were pinched in embarrassment, and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much-talked-about gift. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, instead, it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived with Mr. Holden, or lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. At the sight of you, Cove smiled, but there was some nervousness to it. Hey, you smiled back. You couldn't help thinking to when you first met Cove and how you became such good friends. Lately, though, you were starting to have different feelings for him. Hey, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
His grip on the base of the gift tightened and your heartbeat sped up. Even if neither of you had spoken about it, both of you were aware something new was growing in your relationship. It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part was that the two of you had plenty of time to spend together and explore what was developing. Ooh! His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. Your hands brushed over his just slightly when you took hold of the base. He flinched enough for you to know with certainty that he noticed it happen. You couldn't help but smile to yourself. And with that, the gift was accepted. I hope you and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so, anyway. He smiled earnestly. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. Oh. I don't know if I can be that direct. I'll say thank you. Could you tell your dad we love the gift? Yeah. Mr. Holden's behavior was really different from any neighbor you'd ever had. Though, after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He was nice, he was sort of funny, weird. He was sort of funny. Sometimes that could be a good thing, and other times it was a bad. Oh, I didn't mean it like that, I just meant it in the good way. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are! You shared a confused look with Cove. As one, you both stepped through the open door onto the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. Happy, I guess. Sounded like we were friends, right? Derek was certainly a welcome guest in your neighborhood. It was a pleasant surprise whenever he showed up. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin.
Hey.
Hey, guy and gal. Yeah? I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Should have figured you'd be at Minty's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just here? Derek laughed at his own joke. Oh, look at he's blushing. He's like, oh shit, I've been called out. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. This? It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit.
Nice.
Can I have some? Let's say it's a gift for my family. Derek pouted at your words, not hiding his disappointment. Aw, okay. Then he nodded his head, as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Cove was as surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. Nuh-uh. The new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him?
Nope.
I came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked. Slowly, you looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove. When you first got here, anyway. Kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what'd you say? Let's go find Cove's look-alike. We should all meet him. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned, then he pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going in this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Am I just carrying this fruit arrangement for this adventure? Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true. He certainly did seem upset. But you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched up expression, he came off angry. You started to have doubts about this expedition. Maybe it'd be better if you left him alone and let him sort himself out. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. Hey guy, over here! Why do you call everyone guy and gal? You're so weird. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong hostile energy still radiated from him. Loving the bowl cut. Oh my god. It's really giving, Vector. Like green Vector.
What?
What is it? What do you want? The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name? Jeremy. Was that it?
No.
I'm Derek. That's Minty and Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course. I knew it. What?
My parents.
They're the ones who brought me. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own?
Right.
My dad brings me to Sunset Bird too, when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. A chore. There's literally a beach. Oh my god. What are you complaining about, sir? My parents' family is nearby and we just had to come see them. Ugh. If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too?
I guess.
That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No. Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much and left me home. But I'm not allowed to be by myself. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything. And I'm the kid? Oh god. Jesus, Jeremy. You don't have to keep complaining at us. I don't think I'll say who peed in your cereal? Yeah, you shouldn't talk about your parents like that. What do you know about my parents? Have you met them? No. Some parents are criminals, but I guess us brainless children have to be nice. Being rude to a parent is the worst thing in the world. That's not what I meant.
So dumb.
Close enough. You be their kid. I'll take your mom and dad. Only someone with really easy parents would be dumb enough to say something so stupid. Hey! Minty's not dumb. Yeah, I'm not. My brain might be smooth, but I'm not dumb. I have 2 moms! Yeah, I don't have a dad. I have 2 moms. Ho. My parents are great and you can't have them. Oh my god. I love them all. I have 2 moms. I'm proud of it. Whatever. Same thing. You turn to Cove, lowering your voice. The 2 of you aren't that similar after all. Jeremy must have had good hearing though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Stupid.
Of course we're not similar. Don't you dare say anything about his eyebrows! They are cute and wiggly. You motherfucker. No, Cove, don't listen to him! Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Come on. Cove's wavy eyebrows are so cool! How can you say that when you have a bowl cut? Oh my god, all of these options are so good. I don't know which one I want. I mean, his wavy eyebrows are cool. They're perfect. I love them. They're unique and special. They are not silly. Disagree. and apologize. No. His eyebrows are cool. Cove smiled weakly. Now I know why you thought we had anything in common. You must be blind. You motherfucker, take that back. You lunged! Oh, I might. Ooh, he's getting me heated. He's getting me heated. Can I lunge? I want to lunge. I'm lunging! With your fist balled, you made a quick step forward. But you only wanted to spook him. He was the one who started things. You were ready to end him. Yeah, I'll end him over those eyebrows. You do not insult his eyebrows. The fuck? I mean, truly, I'm about to send him away. What the fuck? But do I want to just spook him or do I want to... I'm not a violent girl. I'm not. But he's pissing me off. He's pissing me off. Look at Cove's expression. He's like, he's like, oh damn. Oh damn. My girl's a fighter. He was the one who started things. Yeah, he's ready to end him. Want to get in trouble. He'd made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving you to resort to action. You weren't sure what would happen, but you couldn't let this stand. Let me fight him, Cove! Let me fight him! He can't handle himself in a 1v1. He can't. I can tell. I can tell. Derek and Cove jumped in to stop you before you reached him. They each grabbed you by the arm. Still, Jeremy instinctively stumbled backwards. He practically fell over. If that's all you can do about what I'm saying, it's just proving I'm right. You shut up! Ho! You were annoyed the other two were against you on this and got in the way. Though the reaction you had been able to get was still worth it. Wow, what's wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice.
Wow, what is wrong with you?
Oh my god, Jeremy! Stop it! This is dumb. Yeah, it is. Leave. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over, until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. Can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding. And by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the arena for at least a little while this summer. Meet me in the ring, Jeremy! Square up! Derek sighed in dismay, plopping onto the ground. You followed, and Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do.
This sucks.
I was hoping we could meet someone fun. Hang out, maybe. He shook his head. After a moment, he slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve the day? What? He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point. Right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. You'd completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You'd gotten used to the wait. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He must want some too. Why not? Let's eat. If he wants to eat it too, then yeah. If he wants to eat it, then I'll do it. Only for Cove. But yeah, apparently. I mean, I was about ready to batter him with it. Pummel him with my strawberries or whatever the fuck's on the arrangement. Probably some melon, maybe. Some cantaloupe, perhaps. Strawberries. Kiwi. Blueberries. Yeah, exactly. Derek perked up immediately at your words. He reached out for a skewer, hesitating slightly once he was inches away.
Sure?
You nodded. With an eager grin, he plucked out a prime row of fruits. Cove grabbed one for himself after. Only you were without a skewer of your own. There were only two? Oh, never mind. Ooh. I don't like pineapple, so that's easy. I like grapes, but not as much as strawberries and melon. Doing the melon. It's summertime. It's summer. The melon was cut to look like a star. Woo! It was the obvious first choice. Derek ate a pineapple skewer enthusiastically, finishing it within moments. This is amazing. It's not different than any other normal fruit. It's kind of worse. These have been out in the open with their skins off for a while. There's something really perturbing about just the word skins off. Like, those words. Sheesh. Hey, you two remember the Land Before Time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all have the leaves that were shaped like stars. Tree stars.
Yeah.
Chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. And there was that scene with the pretty trees, and all the dinosaurs came in and picked everything off them till there was nothing. That's us right now. Awesome. Should I worry about you? Nah, I think that too. Do you think things taste better when they're shaped like stars? They do. It's a proven fact. Love the movie. Me too. The three of you continued like this for the next few minutes. Eventually, the display was barren. It looked weird when devoid of fruit. It did make me feel better. Derek was right. It was so good you were already brightening up from the earlier drama. Hey, Minty. Yeah? The two of you met eyes casually. Oh, casually? Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? Well, he had it coming. Minty, that's so bad.
I mean...
Ah! Yeah, buddy. Let's go. I'm pressed, my boy. I thought it was cool. You're both crazy people. You knew when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you in Cove. Yeah. Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So, are you both ready for summer break? Oh, buddy. Hell yeah, I am. Cool on you. Wish I could say the same. Feels like there's a lot to plan for. And what about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. What? Minty! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden bought for— Uh-oh. She leered over you with arms folded. So, where is it? Well, it's gone. What do you mean, gone? You moved over to the side to face her completely. She zeroed in on the bouquet in your hands, which was now populated exclusively with skewers dripping in juice and tiny flecks of leftover fruit pieces. Her mouth dropped open and the tone of her voice rose.
What?
Seriously, Minty? What were you thinking? It was supposed to be for all of us at home. She glanced at Cove, who sat beside you, and continued mockingly. Even if you are the most important person in the household to the delivery boy, this was up to his dad. It seemed everybody was in a mood to tease you and Cove today. Within moments, Cove's cheeks flushed red. He picked up the hem of his shirt, suddenly finding it very interesting. He always became nervous when Elizabeth would strike at your relationship. Well, the morning's been kind of a disaster. Yeah. Elizabeth narrowed her eyes, not at all placated. Oh no. I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around.
What?
What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. I ran! Without a word, you two got to your feet and bolted down the beach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes.
So immature.
Well, whatever. She shook her head as she walked towards the house, not bothering whatsoever to follow. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph. We escaped and shall live to see another day. Victory! You threw your hands up or arms up in celebration. You chuckled together, walking further down the beach side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little while longer. You'd gotten a bit of a scolding from your moms for not saving any of Mr. Holden's gift for Elizabeth, but you didn't get any real punishment for it. Instead, while you were out with the boys, Elizabeth returned home to share the news. The three of them went to get dessert on their own. It was declared even by your parents when everyone got back and the event was settled. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Oh. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they'd moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie. Elizabeth, too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was my only friend that was a girl. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. And I didn't have a lot of other friends either. Ma always said that quality was more important than quantity when Elizabeth bemoaned your small social circle. You weren't sure how friendship quality was judged, but nevertheless, you thought that what you had with Lee was good. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Minty. It's Lee. Oh, look, she's so cute. I'm glad it's you. For a second there, I thought it might be one of Elizabeth's friends. There was static on the end, as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So, can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room.
Oh, yeah.
You got up from your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which was why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. It made sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. Well, doesn't it also keep it, like, charged? But anyway. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on the bed. All right, I'm here.
Cool.
Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd changed their mind. We could call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Real great! We could even stay up late talking about whatever we want. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait! She sighed dramatically. Bet I'm not gonna get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. School was such a big part of your life right now. Studying didn't come easily to you, though you tried hard. Ha!
Minty one Quakeman.
Ha! Ha! Raute! Hello! Thank you so much for 20 months, Raute! Oh my god, that's so many months. That's a lot of months, Raute. Thank you so much. Thank you for real, Rowdy. Thank you. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good Monday. Thank you so much for the 20 months. It do be a lot of months. Months. Indeed, indeed. Many precious months. Let's see. You worked as hard as most people. You never tried much. Blah, 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 blah. I tried hard. I did. I gave it my all. You knew it was important and you wanted to do well. Frustratingly, even your best didn't seem to quite ever be good enough. You didn't know how it could be harder. You felt a lot of pressure. You hoped to do well. You were confident. Ah! Fuck! Hello? The fuck? Why? Why? It'd be busy, so I'd be lurking a little longer. Okay, thank you for the lurk, Route. Have a good time doing your busy bee things. Appreciate it. I'll say I felt a lot of pressure. Your future depended on it. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled.
What's up?
You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. Let's make a petition. Yeah, let's make a petition. Yeah, everybody in class would sign it. Maybe some of the teachers too. Though, I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things can be cool. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught the things, not just some people. Me too. Hi, Jaguar. How's it going? How doing? I am indeed. I mean, it really writes itself, you know? How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for stopping by. Easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. The cafeteria lunches at my school could be better than they had any right to be. I guess that's all. I don't know. I'm doing better from this flu at least. Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Ugh, God. You know what? I haven't gotten my flu shot or my most recent COVID booster. I really need to do that. But I get nervous getting the COVID booster because I want to time it right so that in case it makes me feel sick, you know? So, but I'm glad you're feeling better. Hope you feel back to tip-top shape soon. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken.
All right.
Now, I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about the summer before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Ooh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled. Of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. I want to do all these things. Reading, I guess? I'm lucky that when I got my last COVID booster, I only dealt with an hour of nausea. Ooh, that's not bad. Well, my last COVID booster didn't affect me at all. My arm just hurt, that's it. But, whenever the original COVID booster, came out, the first vaccine. Never mind, not the booster. The vaccine. The first vaccine, I was fine. The second vaccine, I got a full-on fever. I was fucked up. And I'm just scared that the booster will do that. The last one didn't, but you never know, you know? And I heard it's more common with the Moderna, which is the one I got. But anyway. I need to just get it done. Well, it should be easier now that I'm not streaming on the weekends, so then I can, I could go like on Friday and then have the whole weekend if I did feel sick. So I just need to do that. But yeah. Let me know if you read anything good. Unless it's scary or sad. Oh, well, Lee, let me tell you something. I like both of those things. Sure. You leaned back in your bed, settling in as you continued chatting with your friend. Even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her and you'd be seeing her soon, you found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day. You sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today, and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone, but especially Cove. It was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. No, you don't. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. Oh? Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to be around them, or to have them around, until they started to annoy her. Hey, who are you to talk? You give practically all your attention to boys. Or maybe just one boy. Read Progress and Poverty by Henry George. That sounds like it could be sad. I see how much you like Cove. Yes. Did I just be direct about it? I mean, she's my bestie. You got me. Lee laughed at your affirmation, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. Oh, what, Elizabeth? There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face.
Come on.
How long are you going to hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Excuse me. Elizabeth held out her hand, the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. With a sigh, you said your goodbyes to Lee. Lee, I have to go now.
Bye.
Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi, too. You'd barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside and you laid in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and an open sky. You were... curious. What had caused that noise? Cocking your head, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You wanted to get to the bottom of this. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than the others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside. Hi, Minty. Hi. Oh, I will not call him Romeo. I can't do all that. Amazing, my dreams have come true. Oh my god. If I say that, I need to touch grass. Is everything okay, maybe? not okay. I needed to talk to you and couldn't wait until tomorrow. If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean. But that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone.
I don't think everything is daijoubu. I don't think so.
Cove suddenly looked very cross, angy. Dad, he was talking to my mom. Still is, probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation? I just won't comment on it, I guess. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened, varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about his past memories, or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon, you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before, they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're going to be all together again. The three of us after all this time? Just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling this way. Minty, it's so... Oh, oops. His fists tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. Feel your feelings, Cove. It's okay. The tense lines of Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks. That makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You'd woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seem so crazy. The mini debacle with Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all of that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Minty? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you, concerned.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. I'm more worried about you. You didn't have to forget about yourself for me. I want to listen to you too.
It's okay not to feel genki desu ne.
It is. It's okay. It is daijoubu to not feel daijoubu. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit up his eyes. They seemed to sparkle with his smile. Just that one look brightened your mood somewhat. You know, I think I don't want to talk about this anymore. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arms. But I kinda don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer? Just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? Ooh.
I mean, the flashlight and the card sounds fun. But I also want him to know he can always stay here. Although I don't know that my parents would feel that good about it. We'll do this. I've got a flashlight and some cards. You in? You tilted your head, waiting patiently for his answer. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. Felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you'd never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. He can sleep in the crawl space. Yeah. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. Oh. Should I hug him? Should I hug him? Is that too much? Hold his hand? Maybe hold his hand. Hold his hand. You were easily able to reach out and gently hold his hand. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. Cove blinked, startled, before his expression softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilted and broken often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. I can't be too bold. But just a little bold, you know? Just a little. Gotta make the moves, but not put myself out there too much. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways. And you knew Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your peachy skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes, before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. Yeah. There's a give and take, you know? There's a give and take. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left! He was still there in the morning. Ooh, all of these options are tea. Oh, Cove! He had fallen asleep while sitting on the ground and precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. With your shout, Cove's eyes snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. Oh, God! Cove, please do not give yourself a concussion. God, he did sleep on the floor, or like sitting against my bed, I guess. He clamped a hand over your mouth and looked down at, or you clamped a hand over your mouth and looked down at him with wide eyes, curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully. Oh no, Cove, you okay? Are you good? You winced at his tumble, hoping no one else in the house had heard either of your outbursts. Yeah, I'm alright. Cove rubbed at his forehead a little, and you weren't sure that was entirely true. If either of your moms found out Cove had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cove blinked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that could only... oh my God, I'm having a stroke. His eyes growing in panic as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind. There we go. God. Oh my God. He's so cute. I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around frantically. Cove stopped mid-step, and you wanted to ask what he had been searching for, but you guessed he wouldn't know the answer to that himself. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. It's gonna be all right. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. You just need to leave before anyone notices you're here. If they knew, we would have heard about it already. Cove nodded, his shoulders tense as he fixed you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in exasperation. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all of this had played out, but hoped that was true. Right. Bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense and... He hugged me. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks again. You're a good friend, Minty. A really good friend. You better not be friend zoning me right now. That better be like you're a really good friend. not friend. Friend, right, Cove? Right? He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. Hello? Sir? It made you feel tingly. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. No, we're friends. In a matter of seconds, he climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling your room with its salty scent. Cove fearlessly stepped out onto the ledge. Well, I hope he doesn't have a concussion and just like, you know? I rallied him. Hey! You already got up once. You can totally get back down. You weren't sure if he had heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go to try keeping watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped down to the ground. Parkour! He threw out a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. Cove always seemed to have a way of seeming so smooth without meaning to. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window. Deciding there was nothing more you could do, you hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. Put on my slippies. You knew it was summer, but your slippers were comfy and cozy and made you feel better whenever you wore them. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. When you stepped in the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked you over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting. Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. Minty? Wouldn't you like to know? I clammed up. She began to smile, thinking whatever you were hiding was bigger than she assumed. What's going on? Nothing? Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something. But ultimately, she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out the front door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today, you were extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with it. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they made. hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. Damn, that's a nice breakfast. Oh, we love the inclusivity. I took a little bit of everything. It was tasty. You appreciated that there was variety in the meals your moms made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water and taking a long drink. It was a perfect balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he had left that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house right now, or to call him to check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention. Hi, Minty! Confused, you looked over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you, a friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Is it his mom? At your school? Or from the country club your moms took you to? You had absolutely no idea who this woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back into the house and lock the door. No, there's no way it's her! They were just talking on the phone. They were just talking on the phone last night about her coming. There's no way she's there now. Right? Oh god, it might be. She's got green hair. Ohio, Minty-kun. Ohio. Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? Oh god, it's Cove's mom. You shook your head and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex, too. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point at the condo across the street from your own house. She was Cove's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner, now that you'd gotten a good look at her. She seems sort of strange like the dad, to be honest. She felt so different to Cove. In the little time you'd been around her, she'd given off a totally different impression than Cove did. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned that she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression it would be the very next day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. I'm Kyra Priest. You can call me Kyra. I shake her hand. I'm polite. Yes, the Okasa-san. You reached out and took her hand, and she shook yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm Minty, but you already know that.
I do.
Cove's mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you, Minty. Cove talked to you about his mom, but he hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. Nice to meet you too. She smiled at you fondly, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Hey. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both of your attentions, and when you turned towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house, his eyes skimming the ground. Considering just how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side, for an adult anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
There you are! I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. The snore? Kyra beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey, you should come with us, Minty. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. Hi, Crusher. It's going good. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for stopping by. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Of course we'll run it by your parents first. Responsibility and all that. Well, good luck, because my parents aren't home. It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting on this street for the time being. Anywhoosies, let's go. Kyra walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her. Sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want it to be just the two of us. Not right now. You leaned in closer and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for in the future. This morning Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh. You were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. I thought my moms were home! Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group she found in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. I mean, you don't think the green hair and, like, ocean eyes don't give any hints, and the fact that she's standing right next to her son? I feel like you gotta give her more credit. Like, damn. I think so. I think this is a tattoo. I think so. Seems like it. Yeah. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela. I see you've met my kid Minty, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Yeah, I'd say so. Kyra laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kyra Priest, Cove's mom. So nice to meet you. A head of purple-brown hair caught your eye as Ma popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. I thought they said they weren't home. I'm so confused. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kyra. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands.
Hello.
Hi, Minty. Cove. Cove smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging around in the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat, and I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Aw, I understand. You're welcome to stop by anytime.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Minty went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice.
Have fun.
Hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look and they smiled at you fondly.
I'm happy.
You could tell that Cove really needed the support and you were ready to be there for him.
Marvelous.
Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There was the sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi not too far from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tourist town, isn't it? There's a lot of them around. It was kind of strange to see Cove give someone this much attitude. If he wasn't in the mood to be nice, he generally just kept to himself. Denny's for breakfast! Oh, I do be loving some Denny's. Kyra put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. Well, you sound like the area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kyra pouted at him a little and turned to you instead. How about you, Minty? Want to point me in the right direction? Not really. Sure, I have a couple of favorites. He'd been to a lot of places in town, and there were a couple that stood out from all the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical-themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. Both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us, since Cove is going through a phase over there. Oh my god! He huffed at her and turned his face away. Cove, help, I'm indecisive. It's okay, Cove. Tell us what you want more. He mumbled sulkily, willing to reject his mom, but not to you. I like the tropical place more. Oh, Cove, that's the one I was thinking too. Look at us, we got so much in common. We're on the same wavelength. Does this game take place in a seaside town? The characters look like something from California. Yes, it does. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I want to go to the ocean again, now that Cove can actually swim, now that he doesn't have his cast anymore. Alright. That's what I would have gone for, too. With 2 votes in favor of 1 restaurant, it seemed it was settled. We could go there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minty. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind you. Together, the 3 of you left the neighborhood behind. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kyra asked a lot of questions about the area. Cove was quiet most of the time, so you ended up answering her instead. Kyra explained that she lived in a large city, and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunset Bird. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kyra lowered herself into the chair, while Cove picked the one diagonal to her, not facing her or to her side. It was awkward. Let's see. To start, what would you all like to drink? I'll get an orange soda.
Noted.
Minty? Water, please. Lemon or anything? There's sugar on the table. No. Sure. Kyra placed the order for your drinks, getting a black hot coffee for herself, and it didn't take long before they were brought to the table and set in front of you. You took a long sip of your drink as you looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus, deciding what to order. The last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kyra and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon the meals too were ordered and the menus taken away. You glanced at the table surface, waiting to figure out what to say. Cove sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting like this was all perfectly normal. His sour feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more open questions he'd brush off, Kyra had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you. So Minty, what's a few things that you're into? There's got to be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school assignments. I like to write. I do like to read. Games are fun. I like to go to the beach. I'm really into Cove. Oh my god, I can't be that direct. I like to read. Ooh. Fiction. Me too. Nothing beats curling up with a good book. I also like manga. I haven't heard of that style, but I'm sure it's very good. And I write. A fellow writer. Writing's a great form of expression, don't you think? Okay, are you just saying you do all the things that I do, or do you actually? Kyra sighed wistfully, her eyes going soft. Games are fun. I like to play video games. I don't know much about them. Maybe you can show me sometime. Board games are fun too. That's great. We should all play a game together sometime. Card games are also fun. I like card games too. Maybe we can all play together. Okay, you're just agreeing to everything I say. You like them all. I like music too. Oh yeah, I listen to it. I listen to a lot of it. I have an MP3 player at home that my mom helped me put some music on. And I've seen some concerts. Awesome. Okay, I like to watch TV. And I like movies. And I like stand-up as well. Very fun. And plays are also good. I do like people watching as well. And sometimes I like the arts.
Sometimes I like the arts. Digital art. And visiting galleries is fun.
It must be. I know. Been a while since we talked about MP3 players.
I like looking at people's art. And I like hanging out with people. Yeah, and I like to go to the beach and swim. I do love swimming. And walking along the shore, I like that as well. I do like building sandcastles and also looking for seashells. Not a surfer though. Not me. Couldn't be me. And yeah, okay, now here's the question. Do I say this one?
Next, she'll say she has a widescreen. I mean, for real, she agrees to everything. Do I say I'm really into Cove? No, that's too bold. I can't do it. But I might save just so I can come back and see what happens later. Okay. But I can't be that bold. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's it. Okay.
I'm happy to learn more about you. There's so much I hadn't heard. Cove leaves the details out. So what exactly did Cove say about me? Daisuki. Kyra laughed, holding a hand in front of her mouth. I can't tell you that. I didn't come all this way to embarrass my son. Too much. Kids are delicate at this age. She laughed again, and you glanced at Cove to see his reaction. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kyra a few questions of your own. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work.
So that's why you're staying here for the summer.
Wow. Where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. What do you like to do? Oops. Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. A real shock, huh? Very shocking. I feel like I can't say these. I can't. It didn't seem to bother her that the conversation dropped off. Cove sipped his soda angrily, slurping up the remaining drink with furrowed brows. He looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. What if this, I feel like I want to break the tension, but what if it makes him mad? Could just smile at him. Maybe we'll just smile at him. Give him a smile. Cove eventually noticed you watching him. Took a couple of moments, but finally he cracked a smile, and that made you feel a little lighter inside. Ayo, nailed it. You two seem really cute together.
Oh god, Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
Why would you say that? Thanks, we are cute. I blush. Were the two of you really cute together? Your meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food.
Okay.
Now that we're all full and content, can you explain, please, why you've had a bug up your butt all day? Mom! Cove's face scrunched at that. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward to not miss anything else, eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year, that you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you. Cove's eyes began to shake and his frustration ebbed. I don't I do want you to be around, but I didn't know it would be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything.
I see.
Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused you both you and Cove to crack a smile. You also had no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody had ever called him Clifford until now. She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards. I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Cove's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not here. My heart! She reached across the gap, grabbed his face, and planted a kiss on his cheek. Cove tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop! I'm sorry. Sweet young men need to be smooched by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Kyra was completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. Do you want to talk to your dad too?
No.
Oh, damn! Cove had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back in just as quickly. Maybe later. Not today.
It's all right.
I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me, little mister. She grinned affectionately at him before turning your way. And thank you, Minty. Huh? What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything. Especially when you really care about what said neighbor thinks of you. Damn, Mom! Calling him out. Mom! She just ruffled his hair with a laugh, then moved her hand down to tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant, Kyra had paid the bill. You walked back to your neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much by that time, you were beginning to feel sleepy. Didn't help that the lunch had happened late and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. But eventually, you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family! And Minty too! Cliff. Dad. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? He gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back, far more energetically. Okay, have a good night, Minty. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would have, though it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kyra in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cove, but also both of your families, and a dull moment was rarely had. Ooh, ooh! Okay, let's think about this. Which one do we want to save for last? Road trip, maybe? Road trip sounds fun. Let's do growing. I think we'll go like bah, 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 like that. I think that's what we're gonna do. The best last moment is road trip. I mean, it just sounds like it would be. It sounds like the step 2 version of the Fireflies. Wave sounds the second best. So these three I don't feel strongly about. I mean, we're gonna do them all, and I'm sure they're great. But yeah, road trip is last. That one's second last. Okay. Do growing first. I think that was the one I was thinking of anyway. I was gonna just go bam, 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 and then bam, bam. So let's do growing. Indeed, let's go. Oh man, I should have saved there though. Oh, whatever. I'll save here. It's fine. It doesn't matter. They're all like in a weird order. It's fine. Early one afternoon, you found yourself in the living room with your family. It was another one of those summer days where it felt too hot to go outside, but it was too uncomfortable to do anything inside either. Just roll back once? You could do that? How do you do that? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just saved right after. It's fine. I'll just save the next time I get to that screen. Okay. The air conditioner was cranked up as far as you could negotiate it, but everyone was still being pretty lazy. You, your moms, and sister were lounging around while the TV blared on in the backdrop, ignored by all of you. You specifically were lying spread eagle, cross-legged, perched on the arm of the couch, draped over the coffee table. We were sitting cross-legged. You looked out the windows at the backyard. Not that there was anything of particular interest to watch. Elizabeth broke the silence with a loud groan. You glanced over. She was lying on her back over the couch, massaging her calf with one hand.
Ugh.
I feel terrible. I'm dying in this house and my leg hurts. Or my legs hurt. Mom frowned up from the magazine she'd barely been flipping through and frowned, concerned. Could you have strained them somehow? Elizabeth flailed briefly, then flopped onto her side with a heavy sigh. I don't know. Just hurts.
Sweetie.
Oh, sweetheart. Ma got up from her seat at the kitchen table and walked over to your sister. She did a light pat on Elizabeth's shoulder sympathetically. Sorry you have to deal with that. Maybe it's growing pains. You could be taller by next fall. Elizabeth scoffed. She didn't look impressed by Mom's assessment. I'd rather be my height forever than deal with this. Mom walked over too, leaning against the back of the couch. Kids, they grow up so fast. Soon Elizabeth will have a home of her own, maybe even with a nice husband and some kids if she feels... Okay, whoa. Isn't she like 15?
You're going a little fast, Mom. She's a child.
She sniffled loudly and wiped at her eye, but you could tell that it was just a bit. You tilted your head. Even though you knew Elizabeth liked guys, it was hard to imagine her with a boyfriend or husband. She only seemed invested in hanging out with her group of friends, not chasing after boys. Mom must agree with you because she shook her head.
No.
Let's not exaggerate. She's still practically a child. She is a child. She is a child. But if you ever do pursue romance, Elizabeth, you could come talk to me about it. Definitely. We're always willing to lend an ear. Elizabeth's features contorted in disgust. No way! I'm not talking to my moms about that. Mom's jaw dropped and she gasped in an exaggerated display of shock. Her hand came up to rest against her chest. Ma only grinned. She didn't look offended by Elizabeth's quick response at all. It really wouldn't be so bad to come to us. I know what it's like to have a crush on a pretty boy or two. I don't, but I can listen anyway. Mom snorted at her own joke while Ma burst into giggles. They were having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. Elizabeth certainly wasn't feeling the amusement because she rolled her eyes and sat up.
Thanks.
I'm going back to my room. I'd rather melt alone, thanks. She strode off towards the staircase, taking the steps 2 at a time. Your mom stared after her, then turned to each other with raised eyebrows. Whoops. Looks like we scared her off with all that romance talk. Oh well, we'll get her next time. You watched them titter with some surprise. Obviously, your moms liked women, but you had no idea that Ma liked guys too. Today was the first time you'd heard her say something like that. Yes, bye queen, let's go! Or maybe pan queen, whatever it is, queen! Ma, I always thought you liked ladies. You like guys too? Ma turned to you, happy to bring you into things now that you'd spoken up. She smiled and nodded. That's right, I like both. But I like your mom most out of everyone. She's special. Ma's smile turned all soft in the corners, like it usually did when she looked at her. She pinched Mom's cheek lightly. Mom reached up to cup a hand over Ma's. Even when Ma stopped pulling her cheek, their hands remained clasped together.
You're fantastic.
Oh, whoa. Thanks, Lonnie. I think most women have charm, but no one can hold a candle to you. I just love You're fantastic.
Oh.
Pamela.
Ma beamed, then kissed Mom on the cheek she'd been pinching before. You laughed at their antics. You thought the moment was very sweet. You cringed parents were embarrassing. You thought the moment was very sweet. You smiled to yourself at the sight. No matter how often your moms expressed their feelings for each other, it was always nice to witness it. Ma looked back to you, letting Mom's hand go with a brief squeeze. She settled down next to you, and Mom followed soon after. Uh-oh, are you about to ask me? You know, I'm also here to listen to you whenever you're ready. That offer isn't just for Elizabeth. In fact, I think that talk might be needed sooner for you. After all, you already have someone, isn't that right? Mom shook her head and elbowed Ma, but it was futile. Meddler. Ooh. Ooh. I think I can be honest with my moms, right? I can be honest with them. I can be bold with them. Only them. Yeah, that's true. Ma giggled and smiled, no doubt pleased that you admitted it so readily. There's no rush, of course. You can take all the time you need to figure out what or who you want.
It's okay.
Don't think you have to stick with whatever you come up with right now, either. Life's nice like that. It can change and you can learn. Mom nodded her agreement. The two of us are happy to hear you out, and we may be able to relate better than you think. Still, we won't push the topic. At least, most of the time. She gave Ma the weakest scathing look possible while being unable to stop grinning. Thanks, Moms. I'll think about it.
Wonderful.
Good. That's all we ask for. Mom let out another exaggerated sniffle. It didn't take a genius to realize it was fake. First Elizabeth and now you, Minty? Do you have to grow up? Yes. Children tend to do that from time to time. That they do. Your parents quickly grew absorbed in their conversation about rearing kids. You took that as your cue to leave, getting up so you could spend some time alone in your room too. They let you go without problem, so you made your way up the stairs. You let out a sigh once you stepped into your room. It was just as sweltering in there as it was in the living room, possibly even a little warmer. You couldn't even open your window since it was hotter outside, and you just let the AC out. You dragged your feet as you crossed the room. You checked your current sweltering condition in the mirror as you passed by it. You thought back on the conversation you had downstairs about growing up and all that. After a moment, you stepped a bit closer to the mirror. You stared into it, then turned away from the surface to look down at yourself. You were definitely growing, all right. It was weird thinking about how you were now in comparison to what you'd been when you were younger. When it came to your body, it... I was a scrawny kid. You shifted to the side, your head still facing forward and continuing the self-evaluation from this viewpoint. Oh, this is lovely. You already had noticeable boobs. Yeah, I can't relate. Oh, this is lovely. I mean, she a flat bitch. Tried to imagine what your adult self might be like. You ran a fingertip over your birthmark. That was something that'd been consistent for you. You took a step backwards, finished with your impromptu inspection. You locked eyes with your reflection, cocking your head to the side. All things considered, you had no idea how to feel. You tilted your head over to the opposite side, as if that would help you make up your mind. It didn't. You shook your head roughly, putting thoughts of what you were turning into out of your mind. This wasn't the time to focus on such things. You had to find something to do in this heat. You shuffled over to your bed, collapsing onto the mattress. Your brows scrunched up in thought. Time passed slowly, and to your annoyance, possible ideas about what to do were few and far between. You weren't sure how long it had been, but eventually you heard your mom call you from downstairs. Minty! There's a call for you! Cove wants to come over.
Is that all right?
Yes?
You perked up at the words, sitting up in bed. You yelled back to her immediately. Yeah! You got to your feet and headed downstairs, eager to see your friend. You needed to go downstairs soon anyway, because your empty stomach told you it was almost time for lunch. Just as you reached the bottom of the stairs, you saw Mom put the phone back on the receiver. She glanced at Ma, leaning her hip against the kitchen counter.
Pickle.
Well, here comes trouble. We better prepare ourselves. Ma clicked her tongue in clear disapproval of Mom's words. Yeah, why are you calling him trouble? He's such a good boy. Cove never wants to cause trouble. He can just be a bit thoughtless and impulsive. Oh, I know. He's very sweet, but that's what makes it more of a problem. If a stranger or some kid from school was egging Minty on to behave badly, I think we can both agree that she'd do the right thing in the end. Yeah, I definitely didn't try to start a fight or anything. But if Cove Holden got into a reckless mood and wanted Minty to be a part of the ride, can we really be certain of what call she'd make then? Yes, I think so. Minty helps Cove settle down. He would have gotten himself in even more trouble without her.
You have a point.
Ma just laughed. As she turned away, still snorting, her eyes met yours.
She blinked in surprise, then waved at you with an easy grin.
Mom looked over, noticing you at the foot of the stairs as well.
Oh.
Did they take your stapler?
What? Why? Why my stapler? They have stapler? Why?
Oh my god. I'm like, okay, my brain. Okay, we're good.
Oh. I didn't expect you to come down already, Minty. It's like I forgot how to read for a second. I just wanted to let you know what was happening.
Office Space reference.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
The movie Office Space? I don't know. I don't think I've even ever heard of that. Yeah, call her out. Hey, Mom, don't talk about my bestie like that. The guy sets fire to the office because they stole his red swing line stapler.
Oh, God. Damn. Over the stapler of all things?
Well, if I hadn't come now, then I wouldn't have heard everything you said. Ooh, you got caught, Pam.
What?
What? You were saying things too. I didn't say anything that I wouldn't have told to Minty directly.
Oh, you're unbelievable.
You shook your head at your parents, even as you fought a blush when you remembered just what they had been discussing. All right, you got me. I'm sorry for being gossipy and saying that about your friend. I can be bad too.
Let's go.
We'll get out of your way now. Mom sighed in mock defeat and made her way down the hall. Ma followed after her with a hushed giggle. Now you were alone in the living room, tasked with waiting for Cove. And that was just fine with you. If it hadn't been so hot outside, you would have visited him at his house a long time ago. You took a seat at the kitchen counter and settled in for the wait. As expected, there was a knock on the door a few minutes later. When you got up and answered it, your neighbor was standing on the other side. He came in once you stepped aside to let him pass, giving a little wave. You greeted him as you typically did. With a hug! He stiffened in your arms, then relaxed seconds after. One would think he'd be used to your hugs after all these years. Hey. His voice was cracked as he struggled to say something. You didn't feel worried about that. It was how he usually reacted when you were close by. Cove sighed and wiped at his face a bit. You noted the sheen of sweat across his brow. He must be glad to be back in an air-conditioned place, even if he only had to walk across the street to get there. Is something going on? Why'd you want to come over? I don't want to do anything, not when it's like this. He gestured vaguely to the humid air hanging around. Thought at least I could do nothing with
You. Okay, yeah, we can do nothing together. That's fine.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You grinned and he smiled back, and that was all there was to it. Both of you were on the same page. Have you had lunch yet? I was gonna do it soon. He shook his head.
Not really.
I haven't really felt like eating because of the heat.
I probably should have lunch. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Oh, you gotta eat. Didn't eat at all? You gotta have something now. You urged Cove in the direction of the kitchen. He stumbled after you. Okay. As one, you headed into the kitchen. You crossed your arms as you glanced around, wondering what you should scrounge up for a meal. I don't want to eat anything that's warmed up. Is there something cold or not cooked? Cold noodles! Let's have some cold noodles! After a bit of back and forth, the two of you concluded that you should raid the fridge and cabinet in order to make sandwiches, or that works too. With that settled, you had planned to decide on the outside layers first. There was a wide variety to choose from since everyone in your house had their own favorites. There was white bread, wheat bread, sourdough, mixed grains, gluten-free bread, and pita pockets. That's a lot of options, damn.
Hey.
Could you take the grain one for me? Sure. You reached for the mixed grains, then made your decision. Oh, I want those mixed grains as well. Cinnamon swirl? But I can't have a, deli sandwich on that. Oh, mixed grains for sure. You wanted mixed grains as well, so you set just that onto the counter. Then you had to decide what main direction the sandwich would go in. Savory. Something savory would make it feel like a real meal. As for the specific ingredients, ooh, buddy. Okay, we're gonna do, let's see. We're gonna do some turkey, lettuce, tomatoes, avocado. No bacon? Maybe cheese. Make kind of a club sandwich, if you will. Top it with mayo, I guess. Honey mustard would also be good, but we'll do mayo. Yeah. And pesto. Pesto's so good. And that was it. You nodded to yourself with a quiet hum, satisfied. The two of you bustled around the kitchen, opening and closing things in order to collect everything you needed for your individual sandwiches. You focused intently on assembling your own, for the most part. When you were close to being done, though, you glanced over at your neighbor. Cove was putting a sandwich together delicately, his brow furrowed and tongue sticking out just barely. There were open jars of peanut butter and honey near his plate, as well as a banana peel. Ooh, sounds good. So he was making a peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich on a mixed grain bread. That sounds good. Maybe you'd have one yourself a different time. Curiosity satiated, you turned back to your plate and finished your own creation. By the time you were done, Cove had already cleaned up his workstation. He turned to face you, studying your sandwich briefly. A small smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. You guessed it didn't look inedible to him, at least. Done? Yeah.
Cool.
He waited as you quickly returned the ingredients and cleaned a few utensils. Then the two of you collected your respective plates. You both agreed on heading upstairs to hang out in your room. You and Cove entered your bedroom while balancing your food on the plates. Nothing fell, so it was a successful trip. Cove took a seat on the ground, stretching out on the hardwood floor in an attempt to keep a bit cooler. He immediately took a big bite of his sandwich, chewed, then hummed happily. This sandwich is really good. At least that's something. At this point, you sat down and started on your own sandwich. Yeah, it was good. Obviously, you were a pro at making sandwiches. He leaned back on his hands while chewing and glanced around. His every movement was sluggish. Want to do something? It seemed the plan of not doing anything at all had already worn thin, despite his lack of enthusiasm. Like what? He rolled his head back, looking up at the ceiling. What about Hangman? Sure, why not? You put your plate to the side and pulled out some markers and scrap paper. As you laid everything on the floor, he scooted back to make more room in front of you. Cove picked up one of the markers with his right hand while keeping a half slice of sandwich in his left.
That's,
Can I pick the phrase? Go ahead, I don't mind.
He smiled briefly before he bent over the paper and began sketching the hangman frame. Then he stopped, pursing his lips in thought. He tapped the end of his marker against his cheek. You watched silently as Cove looked down at the paper, up at your face, and then off to the side in a loop. His marker kept tapping his cheek the entire time.
What you gonna put? What you gonna put, Cove?
He raised an eyebrow. He'd suggested the game and wanted to pick the phrase, but it looked like he didn't actually have anything in mind for it. Finally, he put empty lines on the paper to signify spots for letters. All right, you can start guessing. You peered over. His secret phrase consisted of 3 words. The first 2 had 3 letters, and the last had 4.
You are mint. You are cute. That's definitely what it says. That's what it says. You are cute. You thought hard about what your first guess would be. Okay. Let's not get too excited. Let's not get too excited. Why are we so giddy? After the first round, you were able to take another bite of your sandwich when a thought occurred to you. Wonder if anyone turned off the TV downstairs. The TV. It was on earlier, but no one was really watching. Then everyone started leaving the living room. Okay, Minty, now is not the time. Now is not the time. I know I didn't turn it off. It might still be on downstairs with no one there. Cove smiled crookedly at that. Poor show, playing with no one around to enjoy it. What was it? He squinted off into the middle distance, trying to recall the show's name. Feel like it was some kind of crime-solving drama? Cove nodded sleepily, his eyes closed, then opened again with some effort. Can you give any specifics? Maybe I can guess it. Well... You rested your chin on your open palm, groggily thinking as hard as you could. I remember there was a woman with long, blonde hair, I think? She was the one solving crimes, like a detective or something. The closer. There were scenes in a police station, because someone got arrested? You lapsed into silence, the both of you thoughtful. Then Cove chuckled. It wasn't that funny, but you joined in the laughter anyway. I don't know what that is. Me neither. And I just saw it. Can we go back to the hangman, please? Thank you. I guess we'll just go down the line. Another round came and went, and Cove grumbled as he readjusted himself. His features were twisted in a grimace. I feel so sticky. Ugh. I'm gonna be stuck to this floor forever now. I'll have to charge you rent. You could be my new roomie. Looks like we'll both be stuck here forever then. We'll both be stuck here.
You're right.
Even when you're gray and old, we'll still be right here. Yeah, we have to accept our fate. You giggled under your breath at such a bizarre scenario. Cove cracked a smile as well. All right, here we go. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Cove spoke up once more, catching your attention. He was peering down at the piece of paper between you, his expression thoughtful. You know, Hangman is kind of a creepy game. Why did people come up with it? Why did they play it? I'll have to look it up later. Maybe I'll do that too. That said, the two of you turned your attention back to the game. Oh god. I forgot that the U was also in cute, so now I'm sure of it. This game better not be playing games with me. This better say you are cute. By this point, Cove had finished his sandwich. Yours was almost gone too. By now you were getting thirsty. You brought it up to your neighbor. Should we go downstairs to get some drinks? I was thinking that too, but I don't really want to get up. Me neither. You looked over at him, narrowing your eyes with false suspicion. But hey, what happened to you not being able to get up ever again because you were stuck to the floor? That's still true. I mean, we're not actually going, are we? I only thought about it. You rolled your eyes and dropped the issue, defeated. Cove grinned a little at your disappointment over his victory. Oh my god, Miss Bing. Miss Bing, you just dropped the foulest shit. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, Miss Bing. Absolutely foul. Oh my god. Hold on, I'm Febrezing. Jesus, girl. What the fuck did you just let out? My god. That was freaking obscene. Foul, Miss Bing. Foul. She's looking at me like, what? Okay, that's better. Damn. All right. You're really close. Oh. Oh my god. Please help me. I need help. Oh god. Okay, I'm fine. I'm sweating. Okay, everything's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay. You are cute. That was the phrase that Cove had spent so long settling on. You stared at it. A few correct letters in, you had a feeling you knew what the phrase was. Still, you felt butterflies in your stomach at seeing it, clear as day on the paper. Oh god, please. Then everything turns into Minecraft. Oh my god, bro, I'm fucked up. I'm absolutely fucked up. I can't do this anymore. You took in the words for a moment longer, then you looked up at Cove. He had trouble meeting your shocked gaze, a smile settling awkward on his lips. His next words left him in a mumble. Ah! Oh god! It was all I could think of at that time. Oh my god. You fell backwards. I can hug him. Okay, of all times to be direct, this is not a bad time because he was direct first. Okay? He was direct first. So I don't feel as self-conscious about being direct. Therefore, I think we should you lean over and wrap your arms around him and I. Damn, go! What the fuck? Okay, everything's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine, Jaguar. I'm fine. He's fine. We're fine. I'm not about to throw up. Oh my god. I can't breathe. Where's the option to pet the goat? I don't know, but I need some kind of reprieve because I'm absolutely losing it. I'm losing it. Okay, this is fine. Well, as much as I want to go, damn, Cove, I can't. So we'll just go, we won't say thank you because then that's going to seem like we don't want to say it back. But I don't want to say it like this either because that almost makes it sound like it's making it casual. And I want to be like, no, you're cute, for realsy. I like you. I will let out a squeak. Cove smiled a bit more, clearly still feeling awkward about the move he pulled. He turned away from you, his cheeks tinted pink. A moment passed between the two of you. Now would be the perfect time to change the subject, but you didn't. He didn't either! Things started to feel a bit more personal all of a sudden. You looked into Cove's ocean eyes and saw yourself staring back. Oh, there we go! There we go! That's what I want! I think you're really cute, seriously. I think you're cute. I love you. As much as a 13-year-old can. I love you. Yeah, sure. Damn, Daniel. Yeah, damn, Cove. I mean, it's still good, but it's not the same. It's not quite the same. Squeeze his forearm? Oh, I wish I could. Let me tell you, because he's athletic, too. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say, I think you're really cute, seriously. We got to be forward. Now's the time to be forward. Cove's features softened at your words, but he remained serious. Thanks. I think so. I think that's what they said. They're either 13 or 15. I can't remember. I think 13, though. They're kids. They're children. They're children. Finally, he broke the eye contact. I've heard at some point you're supposed to start liking types of people. Guys or girls or whoever. Yeah, yep. I mean, you don't have to, but it's okay if you do. So...
I don't know.
What are you saying, Cove? Are you playing games with me right now? You thought he was 17? Yeah, no. Yeah, they're like 15 at most. No, they have to be 13. They're in middle school. It said they're in middle school. And 15's like the beginning of high school, right? So, yeah, they're 13. Okay, what are you saying, Cove? Now I feel like you're backtracking. Don't play with my feelings like that. Don't play with me. Haven't really noticed that yet. Nothing's changed. Not in a big way. Not for everybody. Well, maybe it just means with other people. But it's okay. You can like me. Maybe I have to grow up more. But at least with... You waited, but he trailed off. He wasn't going to keep talking. You frowned. A little disappointed. You wish that he had continued with what he was saying. Yeah, I do. I'd so. You shook off the strangeness of the situation and tried to be supportive. Maybe you just don't like anybody. Or maybe you like all types of people. That's normal too. Or maybe he's just talking about sexuality. I don't know, I'm confused. And so is he, clearly. And that's okay, Cove, that's okay. I can wait. Cove seemed to appreciate that thought if the smile that appeared on his lips was any indication. But the expression was quick to disappear. He peered over at you, looking nervous. Okay, what about you? What kind of guy or person do you like? He winced and seemed to be mentally kicking himself for saying it like that. Oh, he's so cute. You considered his question carefully. Did you know who or what you liked? You were starting to have physical attraction. You only seemed to feel physical attraction in specific cases and situations. You didn't really have a physical interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had an interest in people physically. There was only one person you'd ever had those kind of feelings for. Oh. Well, I mean, I'm a child, but I'm a preteen, I guess. I think this is supposed to be less... Yeah, okay. I'll just say in a general way, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. There's only one person you'd ever had romantic feelings for. Throw. But specifically, when it came to how you felt towards boys, you found them attractive, you thought you'd be happy with a guy someday. Be happy with...
No, we do be liking the boys. With so, we like the boys. We also like the girls. We do be liking both. In fact, we like the boys and the girls. Yeah. Both. For people who aren't exclusively male or female. Yep. We find them. Yep. We like them. We like them all. We don't discriminate out here. You returned your attention to Cove. He was waiting patiently for your response. Oh, we'll tell him. I feel if I can be honest with anyone, it's him. He listened intently, taking in every word as you tried to convey how you felt. He definitely perked up a bit when you mentioned having some interest in romantic relationships.
That's so cute. Then he scratched the back of his head, sheepish. Not really sure how we ended up talking about all this when we started out just playing Hangman. Well, my guy, you basically, like, kind of low-key confessed in Hangman, so really? You don't know how we got here, sir? You don't know how we got here? But it was good, I think. I think so, too. Cove chuckled a little bashfully. He glanced around, clearly scrambling for something else to say. So, have you gotten to go to the beach recently? Yeah, actually. I'm really glad you brought it up. The conversation took a lighter turn after that, and it felt like you got closer that afternoon. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. To your relief, the air cooled down a bit as a result. You pulled yourself off the floor, as did Cove, with some minor complaint. You both stretched your arms, groaning, and yawned into your hands. You glanced out your window briefly, taking in the soft reds, pinks, and purples of the late afternoon sky. Somehow, you had made it through the scorching hot day in one piece. Cove turned towards you, motioning towards your window with his chin. Want to go outside? It might be better out there than it is here now. Sounds good. I could really use some fresh air. The two of you took your time heading downstairs. You stopped briefly to grab a drink of water, then continued on your way. You stepped outside one after the other, your destination being the familiar hills behind your house. This time of day, it was quiet outside. The flowers blew gently in the wind, petals tumbling but stubbornly hanging in there. You felt the breeze cool your heated skin, and you relaxed your shoulders. Cove closed his eyes, releasing a deep breath. I really love it out here. I do too. You know what else I love? Cove smiled. Tendrils of his hair danced with the wind. A beat passed, but his gaze didn't stray from your own. His voice was impossibly soft when he spoke up again. I'm glad I met you, Minty. You're really important to me, you know? You're special to me, Cove. Your voice came out equally delicate. From the way his features brightened, though, you knew he heard you. Then Cove reached over and held your hand without another word. Even as the sun disappeared completely and the sky darkened, you and Cove remained side by side for as long as you possibly could. God! Jesus! My God! Lord have mercy! My heart! I mean, damn! I thought he was gonna put that in the Hangman once I saw it, but I didn't know for sure. My man's really sad. Oh God, I'm ill. Things are progressing, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. That was so freaking cute. I literally cannot stand it. And that was just the first one. You're literally telling me, and we agreed that the road trip and wave will probably be the cutest ones? And we still have 2 more before those? I am not going to survive. I am absolutely not going to survive. I am unwell. I'm ill. I'm sick. But anyway, that's where we're wrapping it up. We're done. We're done for today. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. I am gonna go punch my pillow for a while and scream into the void.
You know, I mean, I be reading some cute webtoons and shit, y'all. Okay, that got me screaming, making gremlin noises like that. But there's something that makes it hit different when you have to actively choose responses to the situations. Okay, I'm sick. I'm unwell. I'm very unwell. And I just need you to know that. I will be back tomorrow if I make it through the night. If I live, I will be back. We are gonna play some Sandrock. It's been a little hot minute, so I'm very excited about that. Gonna go struggle over our feelings for Unsure and all the others, probably. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the stream. Thanks for hanging out, Ace. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you guys had a good time. And I hope y'all have a good day tomorrow. I'll see y'all with some Sandrock. Until then, you know, have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Do something fun. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure to hydrate. Make sure to eat something if you haven't already. And make sure to do something that will make you smile before bed. All right, you guys. And I will see y'all tomorrow with some Sandrock. Okay. Bye-bye. Good night.